Namaste. I'm very happy to be here on our second live Satsang session, which we started last Wednesday. As I said last week, this is aimed at those students who would like to learn more, ask questions, get answers for your questions, then go back home, introspect on that. And when you start to introspect, when you start to ask questions to yourself, then that will lead you to somewhere. And having said that, we will start this week's satsang now. And I've received a lot of questions over the weekend, especially. There were some questions which was not answered in the last week. And I will be taking some questions from there and some new questions from here. And we will go from here. Thank you so much for being here once again. And I'm very, very, very happy to receive you all today. Before we head into the question and answer session, which is today's satsang, I would ask you to just close your eyes and sit in silence for just 20 seconds. Slowly open your eyes. Okay, now we will go from here. Let me take the questions. Okay. Why do I think of something bad and it really happens? Well, that's a very interesting question, and that's a very good question. In fact, this is not the first time that I heard about this question. I've heard about this question on so many occasions by so many different people, not just spiritual people, but even everyday life people. Um, the question is very, very, very um, funny also at the same time because um, human being always thinks the worst and they never think the best. And the question is like why someone thinks something bad is going to happen and it really happens. Look, when you think something bad is going to happen, then bad always creates fear in people. So once you get that fear that something is going to happen bad, then you repeatedly think about that aspect. Because anything that creates fear in you, you think about it a lot. That is how religions have made it possible for centuries, for thousands of years, that you have to think more about something that scares you. That's why there are more number of people who fall into fear and not into love. Because love is not exciting, but fear is. Because you feel that this is something which is going to destroy you. And then what happens is that instead of avoiding it, you put so much of energy into it. You channel so much energy and all the energy that you have in thinking that it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. We have seen so many things happening in life. For example, someone thinks like he is going to fail in the exams. Definitely there is no chance of passing in the exam. Definitely, absolutely nothing. He is going to fail. But if you think that you are going to fail in the exam, you're going to fail in the exam, you're not good at that one, no, nothing is going to work and this is definitely going to be a disaster and you are going to fail, then what happens is that you are vibrating with so much of negative energy. The person who is evaluating your paper, who is seeing your answer paper, then the moment when he has your answer paper in his hand, he starts to get that kind of negative vibrations. And probably he will be more strict about your paper than what he normally is. At that moment, he will be expecting all the answers to the point. He evaluates very, very, very strictly. And finally, what happens? You will fail. So that is why I'm saying that the more energy you put into it, the more energy you put into something, then that energy will work really in the way like how you channel it. If you're channeling with all your intensity towards it, then it will really manifest. So if you want to manifest something um, good, but you need to put in the same amount of energy into it. If you put in the same amount of energy into it, then you will manifest it also. But normally, fear is something where we put maximum amount of our energies. That is why we manifest negative things more than positive things. This is just a question of using your energy into manifestation of any reality. If you want to manifest negative things, then you can keep thinking about it, keep thinking about it. Then all your mind forces, everything is working towards it. You're creating that kind of vibrations around you. You're creating that kind of vibrations for the person or for the situation which you are very scared about. And that situation gains momentum, gains energy, whether you are doing it purposely or not, consciously or not, but definitely it is happening. So that is why don't think about the worst thing at the first place, then it is never going to happen. And that is why I always say that today was the tomorrow for which you worried about yesterday. And today has already arrived. And all those fears, what you had yesterday about today, has not happened at all. And perhaps it will, maybe it will never happen. Not tomorrow, not never. Never it's going to happen. But all these things are happening only in your mind. So you don't have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to be in the flow and be in the present moment and be here and now. And once you are here and now in this moment, in this very moment, then you are not manifesting anything which is of the quality that can make you suffer or that can make you think a lot, and finally that can lead you to suffering tomorrow. So the first thing is stop yourself or stop your mind from thinking anything that is negative. If things are going to happen, they are going to happen. Just because you think about it, you increase the chance of it happening. You're not decreasing its chances. So, better you don't think about it. Because the more you think, the more energy you invest, you are making it more possible to make it happen. So, don't think about that. And especially your question says that you are thinking always something bad is going to happen. You look like you know something bad is going to happen and you're putting energy into it. And I'm pretty sure like if something big might have happened, then you wouldn't be even framing the question this way, but you were even asking more specifically, and that has not happened. Or something might have happened which you consider as not so pleasant for you, and this is happening because you have been thinking about it. So next time when you think or it's good that you don't think anything at all or you don't channel your energy at all, but still, if you have some fear, if you have something that makes you feel that like no, you need to think about it, then better don't put energy into it and see it for yourself. What will be the result, whether it's going to be something different or it's going to be the same thing like how you have been saying all this while. So what I want to say is like stop channeling your energy towards it. And once you once you stop channeling your energy towards something negative, what you think is something bad is going to happen, fears or anything, then that is going to be fine. Because as I said, today was tomorrow for which you worried about yesterday. And today has arrived and nothing has happened. Thanks for your question. And second question. My friend reads a lot of spiritual books but has a lot of ego. I know it. Like, I know everything better than you, and does a lot of mundane things. Okay, I got the meaning of your question. So your question is basically that your friend reads a lot of books, almost all the time. I think that's why you're saying it that way. But still, you are saying he has a lot of ego. Well, um, that I understand that everyone thinks that by reading books, you're becoming more. You're having too much of knowledge. You understand a lot of things. You try to apply that in your life. So you should be a very different person, and you cannot be like everybody else, and you will function very differently. I get what you are asking, but here's the thing that no one thinks about or no one knows about. By reading books, you are accumulating more of knowledge, and you don't become wise by reading books. What I mean to say is that there is no assurance that you are going to become wise by reading the books. Why I'm saying that is because you can acquire a lot of knowledge by reading books, but if you don't follow it in your life, then that knowledge what you have accumulated, it's of no use at all. Because any knowledge that is not used, that is put into work, then such a knowledge is absolutely useless. It creates more and more knowledge in your mind, and once the knowledge is too much, it's like a castle built around yourself. So once you start to build that castle of knowledge, then nothing can pierce through it. So you start to feel that like you know so many things because you read so many books and you have acquired so much of knowledge. And yes, like you know literally everything and you can do anything with that one. But books gives you knowledge. Practicing it gives you wisdom. And knowledge and wisdom is not the same. Let me tell you, knowledge and wisdom is not the same at all. There is huge difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is something what you acquire through books, through people, through your environment, through anything. It can be anything, wherever you can acquire the knowledge. That is what is, just knowledge, having knowledge, knowing it. Knowing is always knowledge. Experiencing it is wisdom. Once you start to experience what you are reading in the books or what you have acquired as knowledge from somewhere, if you are not able to experience it, then it is just a knowledge. It is not the wisdom. I have never read any spiritual books in my entire life. I've never read any spiritual books. I've read all the scriptures just to understand how religions works and how they have tried to control humanity, how what religion says about different aspects, just to know about it, just out of curiosity. But all my life, everything has been through experience, because you need to experience things. If you don't experience things, then you don't really understand the nature of anything in this existence. So that is why just because someone is reading books, it doesn't mean they're wise. They're just accumulating knowledge. They can become wise if they actually put those knowledge into work, which means experiencing it. Like I met a couple of people just randomly when I was in the beach in a few years ago. They were having very interesting books, and it was very. I was very curious when I saw those books because I know those authors who are spiritual leaders, and they have given a lot of techniques to the world, like in the yoga or in the meditation, in several other fields. So I was very intrigued, and I asked the person like whether he practices anything which is in the book, and he said, well, like he's reading it, and he has not really practiced it. And he felt good when he reads that one, and he was feeling like knowing it and feeling good. is good. And this is one of the aspects and also the misunderstanding of Gnana Yoga. Gnana Yoga is nothing but acquiring the knowledge, but Gnana Yoga is also about not just acquiring the knowledge but also experiencing it, also practicing it. But if you're not practicing it, then just the knowledge that you have, it's not enough. It will create a lot of problems in you. It will create, like what you're asking me, that he has ego and other kind of things. Yes, because when you have too much of things in your mind, then of course you know a lot of things, but it's not from your own experience, or probably you don't know what you know. And that is a major problem, that you don't know what you don't know. And you think that you know everything. And that dilemma comes like when you start to accumulate more and more knowledge, so subconsciously you start to feel that you know everything. And that's what you were asking me. This is a subconscious problem, where a person can get it when, only when they are not practicing it, but they are just trying to accumulate the knowledge. So it's not your responsibility to tell to your friend that he has to, like, go through the experience or something, because sooner or later he might realize it himself, or one or the other day he might wake up to that reality. And whether he has ego or not, it doesn't matter. But what I want to say is that, let's not focus on things which is outside of us. And let's not focus on somebody else, someone else. If they're reading books, it's good for them. Let's allow them to read what they want. And don't waste your time, your precious time, in arguing with those type of people and trying to impress them, trying to share with them. Nothing. If you want to share something, you share. And this is also a test for you personally, like how much you can stay without getting disturbed in presence of such people who can argue with some facts based on their knowledge. This is also triggering your own ego, that when they start to feel or they start to talk about what they know. So it is also a kind of exercise for you to be yourself when they try to provoke you. If you're not getting provoked, irrespective of what they say, what they want to talk, then it means that you have something, right? You are evolving in consciousness. So this is also a test for you that you have such a friend. And at the same time, what I would like to say is, let them go through that process and they will arrive. But if you are just asking me, just to tell you shortly to end this, that reading books itself will not make you wise. It can give you a lot of knowledge. If you apply those knowledge into practice, you might become wise. If you're not putting something into practice, if you're just trying to accumulate all the bookish knowledge, then it is simply knowledge which is of no use. Absolutely. And any kind of wisdom that you would like to acquire, it's possible only when you try to experience more of it, the real experience. And if you can't experience it in that way, but if you want to just keep acquiring more and more knowledge, then that will remain as knowledge. That will not turn it into wisdom. So that is why there is two beautiful words in Sanskrit, gnana and pragnana. Gnana can be knowledge, pragnana is wisdom. So we have to go towards that pragnana and not just staying at the gnana itself. Thanks for your question. Okay, third question. Dear Master, last week you spoke about the nature of real love, but I just want to stay within the realm of human love. So, can you please tell me what is human love within the realm of our life? Okay, I think I get your question. What you are asking me is that, within not spiritually or not deeply saying something about love, like which I spoke last week in detail, but you just want to know, just as a human being, what are different types of love or something like that. But it's not about the deep spiritual love that you want to understand. Well, it's not humanistic love, it's not demonic love, or it's not another type of love. Like, love is love, right? There is not different types or layers or flavors of it. Of course, like, we can segregate, but love is just pure love. Love cannot be impure love, love cannot be very pure love, love cannot be like this, love cannot be like that. It is the same love. There is absolutely no difference there, but I still get your question. You were asking me like, don't go so, you if you wanted to ask me this question directly, then I think question is something like, don't go into deep philosophical meaning of love, or don't go deeply into this love, but just tell me what is plain love in my life. So that is basically your question. So I get it. So let me say, in this case, I see love in three different dimensions. Yeah, three different dimensions. Yeah, yeah. I think yes. Like, I will address all the questions that you have. So the first one is what I call as the very animalistic dimension of love, which is purely based on lust and purely based on biological attraction. So this is something like when a man sees a woman or women sees a man, they both get physically very attracted, which is very biological, which is chemical changes in the brain, hormonal changes, everything. And there is now there is not real any kind of connection, but there is just like that lust what is there, and that biological attraction what is there, that is a kind of like very low form of love. As I said, everything is love, love is love, but still, um, this is a kind of like very animal dimension or animalistic dimension of love, like that humans have. There is nothing wrong with sexuality, or there is nothing wrong with biological aspects or something. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is that the purpose or the goal between these beings are on a very, very, very physical level, and it doesn't penetrate much more deeper into it. So this often involves exploiting the other person as a means to fulfill someone's personal desire. So that's how I would like to put it, as it is very possessive, it creates a lot of bondage. And you have to understand here also, like, what it creates out of it, out of any kind of action that we take. But it is focused on taking rather than giving. See, like, you're taking more, but you're not giving it. And this love is conditional, and frequently turns into jealousy and hatred when the physical craving fades, which means like you had that craving for the person, and at that moment everything was fine, and once that craving comes down, and that craving doesn't exist anymore, other words, because you felt that physical satisfaction, you had that kind of things, and then now, like, that is not there anymore. So this kind of like animal dimension love is of very one of the quality or one of the aspects of that one. The second one is like a human dimension, let me say, because the first one I call it as animalistic because it brings a lot of sufferings, bondage, as I said, and also like hatred, jealousy, and other things was included in that form of animalistic love. The second form is like slightly better than that, which is human dimension, friendships, like mutual sharing. This is something above the first category of animalistic love, because this is not possessive. You don't possess your friends. Of course there are people like who possess their friends, and I've heard it, how they want to have that friend only for themselves, and they are not allowing them to go anywhere, and it's like, you're my friend and you have to be with me and for myself always. So in this kind, but that's something like which doesn't happen very often. But in this level is normally is non-possessive and recognizes the other person as equal to you. So we are all equal in friendship, in mutual sharing, so it's equal. Rather than an exchange of exploitation, what I spoke previously, it becomes a mutual sharing of joy. You can share your happiness together, life experiences. You can both sit together and paint something, exchange some poetry. With this type of love, this type of love is like beautiful and more life affirming, because there is nothing which is jealousy or hatred, or there is nothing of that quality here. So it still acts as a relationship, even though there is no hatred or jealousy, or you are seeing each other as equals, but still it acts as a relationship. It relies on a lot of external circumstances, and it can remain vulnerable to some kind of conflicts tomorrow, like we see in normal friendships. In We always have this kind of problem. So there is some kind of things. So the first one, what I explained, was animalistic dimension. The second one was human dimension, and the third one, what I would like to say, is about godly dimension. So the godly dimension is the ultimate form of love, because it's not relationship at all. Although we say that we have special relationship with God, but it's not that type of relationship at all. But an inherent state of being, if you understand. Because at this spiritual stage, you're simply being love rather than being in love. So there is difference between being love and being in love. So being in love means there is presence of somebody. Being love means you are love yourself. So being in love is always with a specific object, specific person. It can be somebody, always. There is something. But being love means you are love yourself, which is your true self. That is what you are. And it expects nothing in return, and extends universally to friends, strangers, and trees, and ocean, and mountains, and forest, and everything around you. Animals, pets, everything. It's like universal love. By transcending boundaries and ego, this love gives absolute freedom to you. And that kind of freedom, when you get, then you will be able to transmit that to others also. So that is why this is the highest quality of love, because you are love yourself. And with that godly love that you share around, there is no expectation, there is no conflicts, there is nothing. It's because it starts as you and the God, and finally it's only God which is there at the end. You will not exist, nothing exists, but only God exists. So this is another type of dimension. So if I have to sum up three dimensions, that I said: animalistic dimension, where it was only about lust. Second one was like human dimension, like what friends, mutual sharing, people whom we know. And third one was about the godly dimension of love. I I hope this answered your question, because again I had to come to the godly part, because there is no love without God, and there is no God without love. That's why Jesus said, "Love is God." This is exactly the reason why he said that one. Thank you so much for asking this question. Okay, let's go to the next one. If everything is decided, then why should we do anything? It's a beautiful, beautiful question. I really love this question. So, very wise person is asking this question. If everything is decided, then why should we do anything? It's right, no. If everything is decided, then why should we do anything? Isn't it a question what every spiritual being asks sometimes to themselves? Because religions have told you that everything is already decided. God has decided for you. So whatever you do, it's of no use. But the same religions will tell you that someone was a bad person in the history, someone was a good person in the history. Because if everything is decided really in the life, then there is no difference between Adolf Hitler and Gautama Buddha, because everything was already decided, no? So it was decided that someone will be Adolf Hitler and he will do this. And it was also decided that someone is Gautama Buddha and he will do this. So then, absolutely, there is no difference between these two beings, because they were made by God. They were. It was supposed to happen that way. Isn't it true? Going by this logic, and that is why religions have always fooled humanity by saying such things, that everything is decided. You don't need to do anything, and whatsoever you do, like it's always like this. That's not how it works, and that's not the truth. So, to understand if everything is decided and what is decided and everything, we need to understand the concept of karma. So, everybody speaks about good karmas, bad karmas, medium karmas, this karma, that karma, Coca Cola karma. I don't know what and all karmas they have. But what I want to say is that there is very important thing that we need to understand when we speak about karma. Because anything that makes you suffer, you call as bad karma. Anything that gives you pleasure, happiness, joy, you call it as good karma. So basically, this is what happens in everyday life. This is how people start to play with these words like good karma, bad karma, and everything. But the real, very deep meaning, there are like different types of karmas which you have to understand. The first one is like sanchita karma. So you can study a lot about sanchita karmas. So sanchita karmas is what you bring from previous life. So if you have accumulated something that brings you joy, then that karmas, what you call as good karmas, you are carrying it for this life also. So sanchita karma is the first one. So after sanchita karma comes prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is the karma that you choose for this lifetime. So this can include your birth, your parents, your body, your physical body, your major life themes, and and as Bill Gates says that if you're born rich, if you're born poor, then it's not your problem. But if you die poor, then it is your problem. Why he's saying that? He's saying that because probably he understood what is prarabdha karma or sanchita karmas. So sanchita karma is what you bring from the previous life. And prarabdha karma is something like what you have chosen for this lifetime, like your parents, like your physical body, like major life themes, like marriages, partners, and all these things. This is something like what you have selected for this lifetime. And this cannot be avoided. You have chosen it yourself based on your consciousness, because once you are entering a womb of somebody, you have chosen your parents. And how you choose them, when you leave from your previous life, that body, what you will be taking over once you leave, it depends on how much conscious you are at that point of time when you died. And if you are really very conscious, then you will try to find those womb or those parents who are also vibrating at the same state of awareness or same state of consciousness. And then you will finally be born to those parents in that family. If you are of very low, consciousness when you were dead, means like you were suffering a lot, you never questioned yourself, and then you will select parents who fit into that category. So what you are choosing is just based on your consciousness, just level of your consciousness. It's like, for example, let me say, it's a small joke, like if you have like 5 euros, you will end up at McDonald's. If you have like 15 euros, then you will end up at a good restaurant. In the same way, like, It's very rare that like people who always have 15 euros, but they end up at McDonald's until and unless they don't find food anywhere else, isn't it? So what I'm trying to say is that the consciousness at which you leave your body in the previous life determines your next life's uh, path, like how you choose your parents, where you go, and how you will select a family and how you go through it. So that is what we call as product karma, what you are choose, what you have chosen for this lifetime, and sanchita karma, what you have carried from your previous life. And then there is a third one, which is you know kriyamana karma. So this is something like free will actions, what you have now. So you can choose the intensity of suffering in this life, and how long would you like to suffer, and what kind of outcomes would you like to see in life, whether suffering purifies you or damages you. So all these things are completely free will. This kriya mana yo karma, what I am speaking about. So this is where the things will change a little bit. Now let me give you an example to make you understand this better, because all these are very deep things, and I just want to make it very simple for you so that you understand it, and not making it like more complicated for you to not understand it. So imagine like always you have three doors in front of you, and you have a choice that you can select any door there. Absolutely, you have a free will to select the door. But once you select a door, then every door comes with a consequence. So that is what you will go through it after that, after you open it. So in the same way, like you are choosing what you want, and that's what you get it, right? So it's so much simple, because here we are not thinking about the sanchita karma, because it was not in your hand. It was there coming from the past life. So that is not there in your hand at all. And based on those accumulated karmic points in your karmic bank, if I want to call it that way, your product karma was decided. You chose something. You chose your parents. You chose your like body, what kind of diseases, and everything you chose based on it. And then what is happening now is kriyama and karma, which is about the free will. Like you can choose many things, like what you want to, how much intense you want to suffer, and how much long, what you want to do, and how you want to do it, and everything. So you see, like I would like to give you another analogy to make you understand that. Let's think prarabdha karma as something like the syllabus in our schools. Like we all have syllabus, like curriculums, everything in our school. And the exam date is also there. It's fixed. But your subjects is also fixed. Like you have physics one day, arts, chemistry, mathematics, many things. But what is not fixed here is how you prepare for it, whether you panic or whether you stay calm, whether you want to cheat or whether you want to study well and pass the exam, and whether you would top the exam or just pass the exam or you fail the exam. This is not decided. This is where your free will comes into picture. So something is decided, like your curriculum is decided, your syllabus is decided, your subjects are decided, your dates are decided. But how you perform there and how you will feel yourself inside an examination hall and how you come out of it is not decided. It's completely left to you. It's completely an open bracket. So that is why it is completely free will, and no one is here like just for suffering, or like nothing is really what is that, like decided everything from before. Absolutely not. It is not like that at all. So don't even think that something is already decided, so you are not doing anything and you just have to follow it. It's not true. You have come here knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, willingly or unwillingly, or whatsoever it might be. But what I would like to tell is that because you have come here now already, you have no choice. You have to be here. You have to go through everything that comes. But take it very consciously, witness it, and don't um, get yourself involved in that. Because you have to know that the entire world is just an illusion. Whatsoever is happening here is like a movie. Things comes, things goes. Something brings you pleasure, something brings you pain. When it's painful, like we complain about it. When it's full of pleasure, we enjoy it. This is life. This is how it keeps happening. But what you need to do is that just keep witnessing it. Don't be happy because something is bringing you joy, or don't be sad because something is making you suffer. Just witness it. Everything goes. Everything comes and goes, just like how sun comes and he goes down in the evening. It's just order of life. So don't worry about anything so much. What is decided, what is not decided, or something, because it's immaterial in one way. So what is decided, what is coming, let it come, and what is not there, like let it be like that. It's okay. Whatsoever has to come, it will come, and it has already come, and you are here, and everything is fine. Thanks for your question. I get this question a lot in many satsangs. Let's go to the next question. Is it possible to pursue material success and spiritual growth at the same time, or do they pull in opposite directions? It's a beautiful question. This is a question which, in my opinion, is there since several thousands of years, and this has not changed, and this is not changing now, and perhaps this will never change, because this comes from a lot of religious dogmas, like what religions have been saying. Because even some people point at Bible that even like you can pass through the even a camel can pass through the doors of the city, like which comes in the Bible, like what Jesus says, that even a camel can pass through the city, but no rich man will ever be able to pass through the like through the Father's heaven. So but this is it's a something like that, which gives the meaning that a rich man can never have a place in the heaven, even though everything else is possible. It's not just about Christianity. Hinduism says the same. Buddhism says the same. Every religion says the same, that like you have to be poor, and only poor people will get the car. But um, if you ask me the reality, then a poor person is somebody like who is always thinking about his survival. A poor person will always keep thinking about his food. A poor person will always keep thinking about his rent, his financial problems, how tomorrow is going to be. He always keeps thinking about it. So poor man has no place in his mind or in his heart for spirituality, for God, or anything, because his whole life uh, is going by chasing money. So this is what is happening in a poor man's life, and nobody tells you that practical fact. Everybody says like, no, you become poor, and like money is bad, money is evil, and if you hate money, then you are more spiritual. This is also one of the types of egos that people keep um, giving it over the centuries and thousands of years, that being poor is the only way to become spiritual. So always be poor and you will be spiritual. If you become rich, no, God don't doesn't like you anymore. Look, God doesn't see your social status. Our spirituality is not about your social status. It's not about whether you're poor, you are rich, you are tall, you are short. It's not about these things at all. Like, it's not about whether you wear gold, whether you wear diamonds, whether you wear silver, or what sort of wealthy person you are, or whether you are begging on the street, or whether you don't have anything with you. And that is why, you have to be very close to God, and God loves you more than anybody else because you are poor, you're absolutely poor, and you don't have anything with you. No, this is not that way. Poor or rich doesn't matter. Whether you want to, have material success, whether you don't want to have material success, it has got no connection to your spirituality. Absolutely nothing. If you want to grow spiritually, then practice spirituality in your life, irrespective of whether you're poor or rich. That is completely a hopeless thinking, that someone poor can be more spiritual, someone rich can be less spiritual, someone can be very rich and they cannot have any spiritual progress at all. Someone can be very poor and they cannot have any progress at all. There are more poor people in this world than rich people, but still, not all the poor people are enlightened, or not people who are poor or completely awakened, or they are evolving in consciousness. There is nothing like that. So material success is is it has got nothing to do with your spirituality. But why some people say that, if you're rich, like, you're going to lose it? Because human being is extremely delicate. His mind is very fragile. The moment they start to accumulate wealth, some people, they might start to get ego in them, that they are very powerful, they're greater than everybody else, and they can, do whatever they want to do. So when they get this kind of ego or that attitude, then that can destroy your spiritual life. But that doesn't mean that poor people are having all the humility of the world. That even that is not true, because there can be some poor people and they might have ego also. So being poor or rich, if you pursue your material success, and that is not going to hamper your spiritual growth. All that matters is whether you're really committed to the path or not. This is what I always say. If you're really committed to the path of spirituality, and if you really want to grow spiritually, then be committed to it. Practice every single day. Practice meditation, practice yoga, or practice whatsoever you're practicing as part of your spiritual growth, and then you will see the results yourself. This has got nothing to do with your material status or what you are doing in your personal life. If you want to earn money, you earn. That will not clash with your spiritual growth, as long as you keep your spiritual growth focus intact, always, no matter what. Just because you become wealthy, and just because you become you have a lot of name and fame, it doesn't make you anything. Because maybe you will think that you're rich and you are famous and you are this and you are that in your own eyes, or you might think that someone else is pursuing in the same way, but in the eyes of divine, it's nothing. It's nothing. If you just offer your sincere prayers that reaches the divine, then sometimes people offering gold to temples and a church and everything, and thinking like, okay, they are doing a big service. No, that's not what the divine wants. Divine doesn't care about these things. All divine cares about is whether you are having that humility, whether you are having that devotion, whether you have that purity in you. And if you have that purity in you, then things are going to be very different. So just to tell you that, if your question is like whether they can run in parallel, the pursuing material success and spiritual growth, Absolutely, they can go hand in hand, they can go together. There is no problem at all. But there can be a problem if you are not able to take care of yourself, and if you don't have control over yourself, and if you let go of yourself in that egoistic identity of yourself, that you are everything and you can do everything, you are invincible. But if you don't get it, if you're just pursuing your spiritual growth, then that's absolutely fine. Always have in mind that no matter how rich you are, how whatever you have with you, at the end of the day, everybody has to know who they are, and that has nothing to do with any of the social status. And if that is known to you perfectly in your heart, then nothing can hurt you, nothing can change you. Thanks for asking this question. So, next question, probably, um, yeah, I can take this one question. I believe in God, but sometimes I doubt. Does doubt destroy my spiritual progress, or is it part of my journey? This is a very good question as well. Of course, today it's been a lot of good questions are there. I'm very happy to have this question. Okay, listen, that question itself carries a hidden assumption that belief is the goal and doubt is the enemy trying to sabotage it, trying to spoil it. That is where all religions have deceived humanity. If you see what religions have done in the humanity for thousands and thousands of years, this is exactly what they have done. They have made belief the criteria of spirituality, right? And belief is the cheapest thing in the world. It's like tomorrow do something, have a stone in your hand, and if you keep saying something to that stone for a very 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 long time, then even the stone will start to believe it. Just a stone, if you keep telling the same thing, whatever comes to your mind for a very long time, even the stone will start to get some vibration and it will start to believe it. Because belief needs no intelligence, no courage, no searching, nothing is needed, because it's just believing, right? Like there is no intelligence there. Like, okay, you have to believe that what I am showing you right now in my hand is God, and you have to worship it. Yeah, you have to worship because you just have to believe. You cannot question. You don't have intelligence. You don't have courage to ask me. Nothing. So that is why the religions always work in this way. They give you a belief system, and you just have to believe it. Believe it. It is always borrowed. It is inherited like a family disease, from thousands of years, because your ancestors believed it and their ancestors believed it, and like now you believe. You're getting what I'm saying? This is not spirituality, and this is just following like a sheep. And this is what religions have successfully made it so far, because doubt is dangerous only to borrowed beliefs. If you have borrowed some beliefs from somewhere, from someone, then doubt can be very dangerous. It is not dangerous to truth, because truth is truth. It doesn't need to be explained, it doesn't need to present itself with any facts, because that is how it is, and it is always there. If your God is real, hmm, really tasted and really experienced, then like no doubt can touch it. And the problem is that they're self-created gods by all the religions. They are created out of their fear. That's why they say that, like, you have to fear the god. But there is no god which happens in fear. There is no god which lives in fear. God always blossoms in love. But the religions tell you that no, it's not that way. It is always like, God is real, and he cannot be experienced. Is big thing. It is out of the concept of mind. Um, all these kind of things. But anyway, no doubt can touch it, right? If the God is like that. Just as no doubt can make you disbelieve in your own like if you have some pain, like if you're telling me like you have a teeth pain, if you have an eye pain, that I don't have to make you believe that you have a pain in your eyes, you have a pain in your teeth. Of course you have it, you know it, and I don't have to prove or I don't have to say anything about that one. Have you ever heard of a man doubting his hunger, for example? Yeah, nobody have to say it, because like when you are hungry, you know that you are hungry. It's your own experience. No one have to make you feel that you are hungry. No one have to make you feel that you have a pain in your eyes or in your teeth or anywhere, because that's your experience. And when something is your experience, no one has to make you feel it, or no one have to make you believe it. But you have never experienced God. You have only been told about God. You have only been lectured about God through scriptures, through priests, through religious leaders. That's why the doubt keeps coming back. Everybody keeps asking. It is not disturbing your spirituality, it is disturbing your knowledge that you have been having. And earlier in the satsang today, I was speaking a lot about knowledge and what is knowledge and what is wisdom. And that is what I was talking about, that now why you're questioning is because always it was given to you that this is God and this is it, and this is the perception of it, and everything from the scriptures. And that knowledge what you have borrowed from ages, that has started to collapse within you, and that's why you are getting this doubt. And it's good that you are getting disturbed, to be very honest, because when you get disturbed, which means like you are asking questions to yourself. And when you're asking questions, which means like you're genuinely going deeper into it. Let it get shattered, no problem at all. Because once something breaks down, which is not true, then it makes space for something which is true to grow in that place. If nothing is shattering, if nothing is breaking, then there is no way that like something new can grow within you. So you are asking these questions, and that is absolutely good. And now you're making space for something authentic thing to grow. And this is what happens in everyone's case. When religions are borrowed, when the religious gods are borrowed, everybody believes them on the face value without even questioning anything. And that is going to fall down sometimes, because God is not their experience. The God is something, a theoretical thing for them. Now I just want to tell you that doubt is not the opposite of a religious mind. Doubt is the very beginning of the religious mind, because if you don't doubt, then you are not getting the truth. If you don't question something, you are not getting the truth. There is difference between belief and blind belief, and both are equally danger. They both are poisonous. But when you question something and when you get the answer, that is something which is more deeper things. The really religious person is not the believer. No one can be religious by believing it, right? And I'm speaking about the real religion, and that real religion has no name. It's not about Hinduism, it's not Christianity, it's not about something else. No, the real religion is something different. The real religion is when you start to ask questions to yourself, very deep questions. The real religious person, that's why, is not a believer, it is a seeker. Belief, closes the inquiry. It's not like I already know why I have to search. It's not coming like that one. Doubt keeps always the window open, like to know about it. I already know why I have to search is a typical statement of a priest, or which religions have given, because they know what is written there, and they know like this is the God and this is what I need to do. Everything is known, so you don't have to do it. I would like to give you another example. Like if you know about a 17th century mathematician, Rene Descartes. He is really amazing, because he doubted everything in his life. Even though he was a famous mathematician, he doubted everything. And through doubting, one day he said that I think, therefore I am. And that was a very spiritual statement. What he was saying, because he thinks, and therefore I am, because he is thinking, that he knows it. And without thinking, there is nothing. At least there is one certainty, that is Thinking, that process of thinking is very important. That's how doubt functions rightly, not as a destruction, right? Not as a destruction, but as a fire that burns the false and leaves what is true standing there forever. Because whatever is false has to fall down, it has to burn finally. And what is the truth that should remain there, and it will always remain there. So don't ask how to get rid of doubt. Ask instead, why am I trying to believe in something instead of knowing it? Belief is a substitute people use because direct experience takes courage, discipline, silence, meditation, sadhana, yoga, everything. And you know what? Belief is absolutely comfortable. It's ready made. You don't have to do anything here because there is nothing of you that is required here. Doubt is uncomfortable precisely, right? Because it is demanding something real from you. But it is saying like, stop, repeating scriptures. Start experiencing it. That is what I'm saying. That don't go to the borrowed knowledge. Don't go to something that has been imposed on you, and don't accept anything which is of not your own experience. So anything that is coming to you, then just stop it and start to experience it. And if it's not of your experience, then just let it go. And there is no rule that you have to accept something which is being imposed on you, which is not even true. Your spiritual progress is not destroyed by doubt. Absolutely not. It is destroyed by fear of doubt. This is where freedom of expression is very important even in spirituality, because you should be able to ask question, because that fear makes you cling more tightly to dead beliefs. And a corpse, however tightly held, does not become alive again, right? Because once something is dead, it is dead. You can't make it alive. Let the doubt come, sit with it, think about it. Don't suppress it. Just let it go. Let it be there. Think about it. Meditate on that one. Witness it. Watch that one. Whether it can be like for one complete day or anything. Out of that very witnessing, when you keep witnessing what's going on, something will arise in you that no doubt can shake. Not because you have defeated doubt, but because you will have moved from believing in God to a place like where you started to experience God. So now you are no more believing in something, but you started to experience it. Then doubt simply becomes irrelevant, because now you're not doubting anymore because you explained it when you experienced it. It's like like when there is darkness, which simply means that there is no light. And the moment, just when you go out of the home around 4 a.m. or something, and as it turns like 4:35 a.m., you will start to see that sun rises in the east, and then all the darkness will disappear. And you will be wondering like, what happened to darkness now? Darkness was nothing but lack of light. And once the light comes, the darkness disappears. So don't fight darkness. You simply bring the light, and darkness will go away on its own. Doubt fearlessly. It is not your enemy. It is your master. That is your true master, because once you start to doubt, something is making you to go towards the transition phase of what you were believing so far without knowing nothing about it, to something what you will start to awaken through your own experience. That's what I want to tell you. Thanks for your question. Okay, we have crossed our 1 hour mark. I always want to keep it within 1 hour because people can follow it very well. Thank you so much. It was Amazing to spend this time with you, and thanks for all your questions. We will again meet next week at the same time, 6 o'clock Central European summertime. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a very nice evening and continue your spiritual practices. If you have something, you can always ask me, and I'm here for you. Thank you. Namaste.